Hi, it's Kamon Reynolds. It's the 4th week of January. Maple pollen is starting to come in nice, and we are at least 3 weeks earlier than we were last year, but the bees don't seem to mind a bit, and neither does the beekeeper, who's having a lot of fun today. So this is an odd looking colony to some of you. This is a double screen board. We have a colony up top and a colony down below, and the nice thing about this insulated bottom is almost all of the heat is just shooting right up into this colony. So let me show you what I mean by that, and I'm leaving a link pinned in the top comment where you can see how we set this up, because this was a colony that last year was going downhill. The queen was doing an awful job, and we decided to turn it into a 2-queen system that's worked out awesome. Alright, so look at all those bees right up top, all the way to the top where that heat is. Are staying warm, so be sure that we don't have the queen up here. Alright, so far so good. The main thing that we're looking for is food stores. We're going to throw in some pollen patties. Need to make sure that they have enough nutrition to be able to build up brood in these cool months. Oh yeah, plenty of food up top. Very nice. Not the biggest cluster in the world. You know, I'm going to go for about 6 frames of bees, somewhere in there. But that's okay. We split them in half to make this system, and so far so good. That's fairly light, but that's okay. And I'm just going to set that down right here. Now look at this double screen right here. We have a 3/4 inch board with number 8 hardware cloth stapled on the top and the bottom. And that is because those bees down below can't touch these bees up top and exchange what is the mandibular pheromone that the queens produce. And that's a physical pheromone exchange, so if they can't touch each other, they don't know there's another queen in one box to the other one. So it's working out really nice. And here we are into the next hive right here. And good looking bit of bees right there. All that heat that they're losing just going right up to the top, and it's a nice way of sharing the heat. You can see the bottom of this double screen board. It's kind of like a lid with a rim around it. And oh, there's a small hive beetle. First one of the year. Made quite an impression on that one. First impressions, you know. Oh gosh, I hung around my grandpa way too much. So what we're going to do is just kind of check in here a little bit. I'm not going to dive all the way down to the bottom. There's no reason to. But I do need to see what this hive looks like. It's a lot easier to inspect the top one. Now, once the season gets going a little bit more, I'm going to drop this top hive into a totally other stand and run them separately for honey production. Now, I scooted those frames apart so there's enough room, and I'm just going to be very careful about pulling the center frame. There's a good bit of weight in it. That's a good sign. Yeah, that's mostly sugar syrup and honey. And I'm just wanting to see if there's a little bit of brood in here. Where are things? And maybe they haven't started rearing brood yet. That's all right. A lot of them already have started a little bit. Wow, a lot of food in that frame right there. This hive has plenty of carbs. That's great. Just want to see if there's any brood up here in this top box. I don't think there's a lot of bees down in the bottom. It just looks like maybe a bunch of foragers, and a lot of food here. There's the queen. She's quite skinny. She looks good though. I don't think they're laying much at all in this hive. Be very careful not damage the queen. They have plenty of food, so I'm not seeing any brood yet, but that's okay. This colony's not the largest in the world, but it looks healthy. I think possibly due to how much food is in there, there's not a lot of room for her to lay. Plus, their heat is going up into the other colony. We'll check it in a second and see if they have any brood. You know, I'd say about 6 frames worth of bees once clustered up good. You know, right now everything's fairly loose. We are going to go ahead and feed a pollen patty. Really like these soft global patties. And these have the rocket fuel in them from the conference, so probably the best patties. Definitely for the price tag, I know that. It's $1.62 for rocket fuel infused global patties. And the bees eat them so much faster than they do the Man Lake ones because they're softer. And I really like high consumption with the small hive beetle problems that we have. So there we go. Try not to crush any of these bees. These are all forager bees. Just flying away. Okay, so now we have this box. Not a lot of weight in it. Oh, this one's something else though. Look at all those bees, like, finally. Oh yeah, I got some pollen baskets. They're kind of small. Not a lot of pollen coming in right now. You can hear them in those maple trees though. They're just starting. Most of the buds aren't there, but they're just starting a little bit. Alright, this is where it gets a little tricky if you're a short guy. Because, well, you know, somebody's smirking back there. One of the worst things about keeping bees in January and February and any of the cold months is how much harder the propolis and the beeswax is to break and pull the frames apart. You damage, at least I damage more frames this time of the year than I will any other time of the year. Alright. So this one does have some brood. They are getting the lion's share of the heat though. It's all going up there right to the top. And that is really nice. Just starting to cap some. You see some syrup over in here. Maybe come upon this side, Laurel, so you can see a little bit better. This hive looks really good. It's not huge, but what we did is we split them right down the middle, put a queen cell in each one, and thankfully they both came back. So there's no reason to look any further. It is only in the 50s. It's upper 50s today, but you can chill brood easily at this temperature if the frame's left out more than a couple of minutes. Then there's no reason to. There's a good bit of weight in that box, so we're in good shape. Only thing left to do is feed this patty right here and get this bee out of my veil that's driving me nuts. I think the feeling's mutual. I'm just going to lay it kind of across the center there to where the bees can get good access to it. The nice thing is, with this lid right here, it's insulated, so these bees will be able to keep that patty warm and consume it really nice. I'm going to knock those bees down so we don't crush them between the patty and the lid. And some people are like, Kamon, you just have pollen coming in. Why are you feeding pollen patties because it's January and it's early. We don't know what the weather's going to do over the next couple of weeks. This is going to help smooth out any gaps. These bees need to get a good first push of nutrition, and this bee is fixing to let me have it. Come on. Watch it come out of there and sting me. Yeah, it's thinking about it. Don't do this. It's, you know, I've gotten stung a few times today. I'm kind of used to it. Actually, I'm very used to it. I don't swell or itch anymore. But as a new beekeeper, just because you see somebody on YouTube do something with no veil, a veil that's not completely shut up, not wearing gloves, a lot of times they don't wear gloves, sometimes they do. Right now the bees are really chippy because it's cool and everything's slow and with how cold it is. So anyways, this pollen patty is going to really help these colonies out. Hope you guys are having a great start to your season. I know in January in a lot of places you're not able to get into your bees. That's okay though. In Tennessee, we're pretty mild. I'm just going to chip this off, save it, and melt it down later, and that'll give some nice space for that patty so those bees can get up in here and consume it, and more importantly, guard it and bully those small hive beetles away from it. Thanks for joining me on this inspection. Check the link down below to see how we set up this 2-queen colony, and I guarantee you it's going to be doing pretty awesome this spring. See you later.